Hello, good morning. Welcome to another Zwift Community Live KRT Racer Focus here. We got a race coming up on the virtual cycling platform Zwift. Looks like we're all systems go. Just a few seconds until the race starts. Got 2 laps of the London Loop as per usual. All set to go here for a fast start. We're going 2 climbs of the Box Hill climb. Looks like we're all systems go. 10 seconds now. Got some major players in the race. Some of the fastest racers on Zwift. So we're gonna have to keep on our toes. We're on the right bike this time, so that always helps. Typical fast start. You can see the bunches strung out. That's why you want to be starting hard. Stay close to the front so you don't have to close gaps. There's the split. All right, we're in the front group. Hodge is doing 6 watts per kilo. Wu is in the race, so we're all screwed. This is really tough. Tough pace going here. Just having to hold threshold to sit at the back of the race. Hey Gavin. Gavin, you like my bike this week? Thanks, Nathan. Yep, some of the fastest in Zwift. Yeah, Nathan, we need I can't even think, what are those little things? A little sticker and mixer with like, my face going, ugh. That's what I'm about to feel. I just did an FTP test to sort of gauge where I'm at. It's a way to measure your fitness over time. And I did a test a couple weeks ago. FTP down to 335. And I don't think I've gone below that value once yet. We're about to go up Whitehall, which is really gonna be tough because we're going 26 miles an hour uphill right now. Oh, Cartwright's in the mix. It's the Cartwright Wu showdown. So this guy Wu, you'll see him, he's got a Chinese flag, Team Innovation. So he'll be in a black kit with a alien on the back. He's a Chinese guy. And he's very lightweight, so what does that mean? It means he goes uphill well. Whereas Cartwright is a British guy a wee bit heavier, but he's got huge power. So he goes uphill okay, but he does flat great. We also have Lyons in the group. Rob Lyons, another lightweight. I am a heavyweight. I'm punching above my weight right now, which is not accurate because these guys all weigh less than me. I weigh 200 pounds, 205, 91 kilos. This is where the group can really split. You got to be on your baddest behavior. Always have your eye down the course. See what the group's doing. Here. Mr. Brown letting gaps open up like it's his job. You can look back, single file. No messing around. Okay, now try to go as easy as possible. Climb coming up in about a mile. Gotta recover. So, based on my experience on this course, I need to just chill and not kill myself in the first half of the climb. It's about a 2-mile climb. I think it's 3 kilometers. So I really want to be in the best position to be able to do it twice and give myself a chance. One last check of the comments here. Yep, I need that. Drop the Mario mushroom. Thanks for the tips, Gavin. All right, guys. The beat is dropping on my tunes. The hammer is dropping in the race. I'll see you in about 8 minutes. I'm in a bad spot right now. Want to move up a little bit. See if I can stay with Robin here. I know Robin goes up this hill about the same speed. Robin is in dusky pink. I just remember that. So we're in the London Underground moving our way to Surrey. It's not a real connection, just some brilliant game design. And yes, cycling is a messy sport. I apologize. Okay, I'm in about the top 30 wheels. Here we go. There's dusky pink. Lion's way out of spot. of Tom Dumoulin, and I ain't talking toilet paper. Just riding my own pace. Can't handle these surges. There's Robin. He wants to bridge, it looks like. Gotta stay with Robin. Wow, look, man. Trying to get the screen time. Coming up from 10 seconds down. Soon closing the gap. Trying to stay with Zune. He's the guy right in front of me. Thanks, Wayguard. A little bigger gear. Back down. Birdo's going. Look at that. Guys opening gaps. Big old group. Thanks, Frank. Zone 5. Stay alive. about a minute. Just kidding, about 30 seconds of tempo. Zone 2. Then we hit that berg again. Well, different berg, but we're gonna go up a hill and then descend for a bit. Zune falling off the pace. Biggest thing about any bump like this, save your attack for the top. So just match everyone. Once you get about 2/3 of the way, so we want to have some left. We're good. Stayed with the group. Happy. In a second, I'll check the comments in the chat. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing right now, I don't care about how to set up Zwift. Look it up on Zwift.com. If you want to know about the race or what I'm thinking, be happy to talk about that. Just trying to stay on with this group. Thanks, Vegard. Yeah, it's hard. Hard work up here. I weigh 200 pounds, so like 91 kilos. Lookman probably weighs like 70 to 75 kilos, so dude's got about 30 pounds on me, but he does just about the same power. When you're going uphill, that's watts per kilo. And 67, yeah, I was just about to say, you're probably just under. But watts per kilo when you're going uphill, that's a great decider. So if I'm like about to gag doing that thing at 4.2 watts per kilo and Lookman's cruising at 5, that's basically the math we're dealing with. In Zwift, you can see what other people are doing. So sometimes you can sort of calculate based on that what you want to do. But there's not much strategy that goes into that. It just comes down to who can get up the berg faster. And now we go around. We're about a mile from the finish. And then we hit the ship again. Getting ready here. We're going to come out of the subway, the underground section here on a ramp. Pretty steep. Again, same idea. Don't expend too much energy at the base. Just carry it over the top. We're getting strung out, but me and Luckman know what to do. Watch this. So I'm matching, and then driving. Now I'm driving. Atho also knows what to do. front of Finn. Oh, it's because he stopped. Finn, our boy Achilles, he just rides until he pops, and then he stops. He might pop in lap 1, or he might pop at the finish, but he stops right away, every time. So if you're curious, we're on Zwift, the virtual cycling platform. We're in a race. Berto's off the front right now. Berto with a 3-second gap. I'm talking about Bertovich from down under. There's other guys up the road about 53 seconds. If we cared, we could get them. But I don't really care. I'm just trying to recover because I just have to go so deep on that hill. Especially the second time. I'm happy with that effort though. All right, we can probably catch Yoshida. What do you think? Yoshida's 23 seconds up. We're going at a pretty lazy pace. Wilco's bridging back. We also have Alberts. We don't want them to catch us. All right, Lickman, I'll help. All right, see if we can get a rotation going here. Putting Wilco into trouble. Chasing. Okay, I'm gonna give it up. There's Vizzari. That's Adrian. He goes uphill pretty good as well. So I have two goals here. One is to keep this group small, encourage everyone else to work so that Wilco, Alberts, and Kasoy are not in the group. But my second card is that I'm fat. I weigh 200 pounds, 91 kilos, so I'm probably gonna get caught on the hill anyway. So It's really, I shouldn't be wasting energy right now. Oh, Berto's making a move. He can go ahead. I don't know if Bertovich knows about the blob. Basically, because we have 7 guys, we're just gonna catch him. It's not gonna get anywhere. Mostly I'm just getting ready myself for the Whitehall climb coming up here. This would really be the time for a counterattack though. So I want to watch out for that. There goes Zund. Same thing applies on this hill. Save it for the top. Robin knows what he's doing though. Sometimes, a lot of times recently, you get people racing that are new, they're strong, but Zwift drafting is actually quite a skill. Some people take it to the next step, nudge nudge, but for the most part, if you're smooth, you can react to changes in the pack and not waste energy. So if I see myself drifting back, I simply just wind up a little pressure. I don't stomp it, because if you stomp it, oftentimes it'll split you off the front, and then you end up in this yo-yo. You don't want to yo-yo. All right, guys. Kevin Brock, I might have seen you running earlier. I did a warm-up. Hey guys, I actually warmed up. How crazy is that? So FTP 335. What sort of watts do you think I should hold for this hill? Because I'm gonna have to just pace it. Some of these guys are gonna do some crazy stuff. I wanna be in the red just as I come over the top. I don't want to go into the red and have to come back out of it at the bottom. Got about a mile to go, so tell me how many watts, guys. What should I be doing for the 8 minutes over the hill? This is terrible. Terrible music. I'm talking about the music in my ear. I'm happy with the music you guys have going with the stream. We can feather Robin. Zoomed off the back. He won't like that. This is also a tactic. I'm just going to let this gap go and then Robin's going to have to close it. Yeah, it didn't work so well because of the downhill. So those guys that were chasing us, Wilco was chasing hard. He's since been passed. Kusosi and Albert's coming up. Eastern Hemisphere duo. The Japanese rider and the Australian. No Kiwis in this race. Must be too late at night there. All right, guys, how many watts? We need to know. 400. 360, I like that. 360 sounds good. How about 360 to 400? So I'm heavy, just so you guys know that. Pros can hold like 400 plus watts for an hour, but a lot of them weigh like 65 kilos, 70, 75 kilos. I weigh 90 kilos. So they get a little bit more bang for the buck at that power. And it looks like those guys behind us made the catch. See if they just come straight past us. Oh, they got the whole B pack. Oh. Oh. This race just changed. All right. Almost halfway. Last third. All right, happy with that. That's my least favorite thing in Zwift, right there. It pans the camera. You're about to throw up and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa. Hate it. There's Robin. Pretty good that we caught Robin. So here on this hill, I just want to respond. I don't want to instigate. Again, just responding. I'll let these B riders chase Robin. I'm just gonna sit in the wheels. One of these days, one of them will start pedaling. It's their race to lose. And here we go. Just making them work. There's a group of chasers pretty close. We don't want them to catch us. Yeah. Greg Capel saying they're gone, but I can see them. Maybe. I could a second ago. Anyway, now we're in the flat. Two others in my race in this group. The rest are a different category. Still want to win the group though. Go-To probably doesn't have a sprint because he's light. I'd be worried about Albert's more. And then the guy V Room, he's got some questionable performances in the past, so we want to watch out for him. So again, like I said last lap, we're going 1 mile to go here to the finish. Do not want to play all your cards at the bottom of this hill. I'm going to do it in the second half. Over the top. Nobody went too hard. That's fine. Their race to lose. The A race is long gone. So I'm just racing for minor places here. I know Robin knows what he's doing, so being behind this pink bike is where I want to be. Sometimes people will let the draft go, and then you have to close a bigger gap, and I know Robin will not do that. About 1 kilometer to go. Somebody's taking it out. Again, just staying patient. No. I don't usually go that deep in a Zwift race. Don't usually go that deep at all. Wow. I knew that I had to wind it like that because if I stood up, I would have had to torque hard to get on top of the gear, and that would have just blown me the heck up, as in just loaded me up with crap, bile, lactic acid in the legs, lack of oxygen, all that stuff.
Getting some support out there for Go Ciano, Team Ciano. So it looks like Michelle is giving a few shout outs there. So that is actually Michelle Ciano. So I think from the last time that was his sister, not his wife, if I'm correct. So we're getting a few shout outs there.
I'm not going to danger my way down that path. I'm just going to say related.
Yep, related there. So that's pretty cool that that people are getting behind these riders and these wild cards as well. So we've got those wild cards. So what's happening with the wild card poll at the moment, Jesper?
It looks like the Western Division is dominating the wild card poll. This is Perth area coming together. First and second place is Anthony Ciano and Jono Bates with 140 and 120 votes, down to Nazi at 100 votes. So Anthony Ciano pulled in some strings. Maybe he called the Western Australian mob and said, hey, I'm going to make an offer you can't refuse. And that's what he did. He's at 140 votes. The voting closes tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Australian time, I think Eastern time. So make sure to get your votes in. It looks like Anthony Ciano right now is in prime position for getting that wildcard spot in Melbourne, which he's definitely earned. I mean, he has won the last 3 races in the the Western Division of the eCrit. I know a certain WP Taz rider contacted me saying he was doing some research for the finale, and he sent me a screenshot of Ciano's latest endeavors on Zwift. One of them had an effort of 5.5 watts per kilo for a Zwift eCrit race, Wes.
Yeah, so if you're up around that 5 watts a kilo, you know, that's into your domestic sort of pro range there, you know. So that's a huge effort. So he obviously has the power there. And hoping that he does get that opportunity. But obviously, it's very hotly contested out in front at the moment. But there could be those late aero power ups popped as well by some of the other contestants in there. There was a big sort of draw from the Wolfpack Taz to get behind Nazi for the voting. He was off early, leading the polls, but has slipped back now. But it's going to be really exciting to see what happens with that. So do get involved and make sure you vote for your favourite wild card. I think even Jesper Anker's name's on that list.
For some reason, this is fun and games, sure. Somehow I've got 10 votes in the wildcard standings. We're trying to run a really formal, and we're trying to keep the integrity of the wildcard votings, and somehow I managed to be put on that vote. So whoever is responsible, I'm coming for you. Because could you imagine me in the race with you guys from Australia? I would not even last a kilometer. I mean, that is how strong you guys are and how poorly Wes has trained me. Because nowadays it's all about the beer.
Oh, come on, mate. I had you in fine form for your peak race. So we see Ciano up around the front here again now. So Ben Simpson up close to the front here as well. So a lot of these riders looking around at each other. We did see Ben Simpson go off the front early straight from the gun pretty much and made a bit of a move. We're sort of sussing out the other riders, so it's really good to see Ben, like we said, had a bit of a lull in the middle there throughout this series. You know, was out in front by a long way in points, and then picked up a couple of the placings there on the podiums after that as well. So it's good to see him step it up there. Looks like we've got some other riders in amongst here that we haven't seen before as well. Just got some different names in there, so it's good to see people getting involved in this eCrit series on Zwift.
How about Mixer? Apparently over on Mixer we've got a fair good crowd following in the chat over there, and we just want to say, if you're tuning in from Mixer, we are an online destination for fitness, a virtual world of fitness with real life efforts. So all these guys you're watching, Ciano, Simpson, Dunn, Cook, you know, the list goes on, Bates, they're currently on their actual push bike, hooked up to an indoor trainer device, which makes them move in the game. So the harder they push the pedals on their bike in their stationary position, the faster their virtual character in the game moves. And yes, it's a bit, you know, iffy. I mean, if you are not a cyclist, if you're not a fan of marginal gains, it can be weird. But trust me, this is so addictive. As soon as you get on, as soon as you enter your first group ride, your first race, you say, I'm only going to do 10 minutes today. You end up doing 20. You end up doing 30. You end up doing 40. Suddenly you find yourself in the middle of a race. You're pumping that aero power up. You're sprinting 10 watts per kilo. What are you doing? That's called the Zwift effect. There's just like, there's no half measures. You're either in a foot or you're not in at all. So.
Yeah, and just looking across a few of those comments now, so we've got Battle Sniper 777 saying hello Jasper and Wes, and what is going on here? So what is actually happening? It looks like Jesper's having a bit of sustenance there to make sure he's up for this stream. So these riders, these riders that we see here on screen aren't just remote control. They're controlled by the power of people's legs on their home trainers. So they have to have a trainer, which looks like Jasper's playing the game here, but he's just playing it out, being a bit of a tease there, because these riders are in their garage, they're in their lounge room, they're out on their balcony even, or they're on holiday and take their trainers with them. These riders have been rocking up each week racing, so the power that these riders are putting out on their stationary bikes at home is measured by a power meter, and that power meter is then fed through their avatars. So this is a real physical live effort that you can see happening right here now.
It is, and on the left-hand corner, up in the top, actually, is this side, because it's reversed. You see it says 240 watts. That is the power they're putting through the pedals. That power, when divided by their weight, gets put into speed. So there are a few cycling geniuses out there like Michele Ferrari and certain other mathematicians that have converted certain numbers and certain units in cycling, in cycling terms, terminology, and turned it into, marginal ways of looking and understanding how riding your bike works. One of them is watts per kilo. It was said by Michele Ferrari that if to win the Tour de France, the biggest race of all, you need to have an FTP of about 6.7 watts per kilo. Obviously, we're not really seeing that from any of the guys out here, because if they were, they'd be picked up by Sky, by Movistar, by Astana, by Katusha, but they're still putting out 5 to 6 watts per kilo. I mean, in your prime, Wes, what would you say your FTP was roughly?
Well, I guess it was like, usually my FTP was 380 plus, so I had it as high as 400. Which is pretty solid. But we're seeing the likes of of Ollie Jones, who's a New Zealander outsider who's been racing the Eastern eCrit, who's averaging constant over 5 watts a kilo for these races. So it's a great platform and stepping stone for these riders to showcase themselves. And like we said, that Pat Shaw, former rider of Isoway, which is a team that that they usually have 1 or 2 pro riders come out of that team each year, and the likes of Richie Porter's come through that team. So for him to have that, sort of showcase and those eyes watching him on the radar now, someone like Pat Shaw has put his name forward through to Andrew Christie Johnson. So from here, he also is part of the Zwift Academy, which is also another platform. So there's endless opportunities out there for these young riders to showcase themselves on an online platform like Zwift.
But it's not just about showing yourself, it's also about the fitness you gain from this, the training, the actual power you take away. Because when you train as much on this and you always have a high playing field, when you go outside, it's going to feel like a breeze. Like, honestly, racing on Zwift is tougher than racing outside. That is might be a controversial opinion, but I struggle more racing the volcano circuit for an hour than I do my local crit for an hour. Is that because of like the fact you can't freewheel because there's not much of a draft effect like real life? Sure, but it's still the best training you're ever gonna get.
Yeah, I mean, you are getting a slight draft effect, but when you're racing on Zwift, you are on the pedals the whole time. You know, you haven't got that lull of a downhill, really. You know, you'll feel that little bit of a downhill in the game, but no one stops pedaling. Everyone's putting that power down the whole time throughout the ride. So, yeah, it is certainly a very hard workout and something that these riders like very much because they keep coming back week after week and to lift. And we've seen riders throughout this series pick up their form, that really started to sharpen up. And then that has also transferred across to their local group rides, their local racing. And then people start to question, is this the next Matty Heyman? Is there a Zwift effect going on?
The next Matty Heyman. Yeah, no, it could definitely happen out on course. It's such a fascinating trend to be a part of as we both work for Zwift and we're both very, very happy at our position. And it's just a fun trend to see how more and more people get on Zwift. Like, this is our first real Zwift season that we're heading into now in the Northern Hemisphere with the winter upon us, and we're going to see Scandinavia, we're going to see, Southern Europe, we're going to see America. I can't wait to see all those, not so much naysayers, but doubters get on Zwift this season and give it a go. Because for me, man, when I found Zwift a year ago, it was just everything I ever hoped for. I'm a gamer at heart. I can spend hours upon hours playing FIFA on my PlayStation, but now I can not only do that, I can also get fit. I can train. Because at a certain point you start to get too fat, Wes, and you gotta start working out, right?
Yeah, you've got to look after yourself, and that's where this community, that you can be part of, is a physical, active community. So that's the other benefit of Zwift, that you can link up with people and have a good social aspect to it as well. Even though you're in your lounge room or whatever that, you can connect with people. And we're seeing a lot of people also through the Zwift Oz page on Facebook, connect with people and actually go for a real life ride also after riding indoors and making that connection through Zwift. So pretty cool. And we actually have seen a couple that have got together and met up via Zwift as well. So there's lots of great community stories out there. And it looks like we've got some Wolfpack Taz guys in there. Fixie Joel, we've seen him before as a name, but I think it's under Joel Cooper is in there tonight, as well as Ben Simpson here leading them at the front.
Wait, Joel Cooper is Fixie Joe?
Yep, that is Fixie Joel. He's changed back to Joel Cooper, so he must have updated his bike and got one with gears tonight, because it looks like he's sticking in there with them and taken off that 91.8 chainring and sprocket to opt for a more optimal road bike tonight.
Is that a benefit, being on a Fixie bike on Zwift?
I'm not quite sure if that would be a benefit. I mean, yeah, these riders don't let up on the pedals, so having only one gear would be restrictive. We're getting a couple of comments across on the mixer now. So, where's your mic is ... I guess is loud or is good. We were getting some comments saying my mic is a bit louder than yours. You did tune that up.
Let me turn it down, guys. Sure. Now that should be fixed now. Now, no more Wes. No more Wes.
Yeah.
It's a quick fix. Thanks for letting us know, by the way, guys, because we're here without a producer. We're just freewheeling this, Wes and I. We're just having a bit of fun. And all your feedback goes right into the broadcast, and we can fix it on the fly. So let us know now over on Mixer or on Facebook. Maybe we just liked having Wes on loudspeaker. Maybe his voice is just that soothing.
We are getting a couple of comments now from the other Eastern races. So Anthony Porter is actually watching the stream. He's saying that Cullen Brown is getting amongst it. He said man bun for the win. So Anthony does have a very strong man bun off the bike, and I think virtually also from my riding with Anthony on Zwift. So we did do a little bit of a catch-up ride with the Wolfpack crew. We were meant to do an outside ride, and the weather took a turn for the worse. So we actually jumped on Zwift all together as a group ride, and Anthony actually rocked up in amongst that ride and was rocking his man bun with his avatar. So cool to see that you can do that as well.
Don't go poaching my Anthony. Anthony Vegan Porsche, he's vegan, is part of Team Vision. He's not WP Task. Yeah. This is poaching. I might have to call the Zwift police here, because there is some treachery stuff going on here?
It was just a casual group ride, and he was rolling along, and we met up with him on the fly. It was not organised at all, but he did enjoy getting involved in the Wolfpack crew. So
that's what my wife said before she left for WP Task. Jesper, it's just a casual group ride. Don't worry. And then one thing led to another, and suddenly she is in that red and white kit, and now I'm stuck here all alone.
Yep, she's in that in-gamer kit. So yeah, do keep the comments and questions firing through, and we'll do our best to keep those updated. So let us know if you have any questions, and we can take care of those. But we see Fixie Joel here now, so Joel Cooper and Ciano also up in amongst it here. So these riders are all looking at each other now. It still was reasonably low. God, I'm a little bit tongue-tied there. Low cadence here by Ciano, seeing him at that 80 cadence there. So he was down in that 70 cadence, and now he's sort of picked it back up to 80. And we see that heart rate reasonably high here too, so at 187. So Ciano, not quite as smooth as what I've seen in the past.
Jono Bates was going to try to do the double today and do both the East and the West, but he was simply cooked from the start. He got 5 minutes in, he sent me a message, he went, "Jesper, I'm done. I'm cooked. I didn't even put my heart rate monitor on. It was that sweaty from the first ride. I just can't do it, man. I've got nothing left." Which is fully respectable because it's just that tough. But he did say one last thing. Wildcard for Ciano. So if you don't know what that's going on right now, is that this 5 months racing series is now coming to an end. We found the 9 out of 10 finalists already, and we're looking for the 10th. And you get to decide the 10th finalist for the finale in Melbourne on the 23rd of September by voting over on the Kiss Road Race page. So you gotta vote for either Anthony Ciano, there is Richard Cook, there are Damo Hassan, there is John O'Bates, there's Nazi, and there's Mike Palmier. You've got to vote for whoever you found the most interesting. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a family, maybe you've got a little man crush, or if you're a lady, you've got a lady crush on one of these races out here. You've got to vote for the man that you want to see in a live finale. And yes, we said man, but there will also be a women's event in the finale. On the finale day, there will be a women's I was going to say KOM, but it's going to be a QOM, so a Queen of the Mountain. So yeah, if you are a lady in the area of Melbourne, rock up with your shoes, your kit. We will have pedals for you, but just in case, try to bring your own pedals so that you have a chance to rock up. And we'll have a little competition for you awesome ladies as well, and maybe there'll be a little prize for you. So we're all about equality.
That's it. So we are getting some comments now through by Anthony saying that he has chopped his man bun off, but he's still rocking the virtual man bun. And he said that his mate Brown, who is racing tonight, C. Brown is racing as a real life strong man bun. So good updates for that information there, Anthony. And we have now John O'Bates saying thank you very much for this season, and he's really enjoyed the season. So that was from John O'Bates, Mr. Hocus Pocus himself. So really getting amongst it.
Johnny.
So we have seen Johnny out on course. Likes to take those attacks, and we did call him out to get amongst it, and he is really taking it on. Coming from right from the back of that group, from 15th to sort of position down up to that top 10, almost making it into that top 3. Right up there, getting those points. And we have Dunn saying that he's close to signing Drew Gin to the Wolfpack Taz crew.
Well, should you spill the beans before the deal is sealed? Or is that smart to toast before dinner is served? What happens now if somebody else gets involved?
I did that with Ollie Jones and called it out and said that he hasn't got a team. And the next stream we come on, he was in the Vision kit. So
hey, I'm innocent. I'm innocent. Don't look at me.
No, but good to see that these teams are building, and the strength and the community that's Zwift builds. So a couple of more shout outs to Anthony Ciano saying go Anthony go. So Anthony's got some good support here on the stream as well. A couple other ones through the mixer. Spider-Man is saying hi guys, cool.
Hi Spider-Man.
Cool to see what's going on here. So Spider-Man, we are these races are actually on their bicycles racing this out. So is powered by a indoor trainer, so a smart trainer. So with that smart trainer, they have a power meter in that smart trainer, which feeds through to this game and then powers these avatars. And as well as that, to make it sort of a gamified, there are some power-ups and some different options that you can get when you cross under the start finish line banner. So they can opt for a power-up, which gives them that aero boost, so it gives them that aerodynamic lift. You can get the featherweight, which will give you a little bit of a climbing lift. And then you have those mighty famous experience ones, which will help you get towards getting your favorite pair of wheels or your favorite man bun and different styles. So all of those points add up. And like the points in the eCrit series, all those points have added up for these races to race a live finale in Melbourne at the Rafa Clubhouse on the 23rd of September. So in 2 weeks' time. So not this Saturday, but the following will be a live event. So make sure if you're in Melbourne or around Melbourne to come down and support these races, because they have battled out for 5 months now.
I like the optimism with the experience power-ups. Most people go, experience power-ups? I don't need those. I'm already level 25. What is this? Give me the aero power-up. You go, oh, you can still get your man buttons, you can get your wheels, you can get your bike. Yeah. Not all races have power-ups though, so if this is not your cup of tea, there are other races on Zwift, daily, hourly. I mean, where some races allow the random number generator that is the power-up to be used. Other races, they stay more true to the, you know, the nitty-gritty of what cycling is, just a man and his mechanical steed. That's up for you to choose. If you want to do time trials, you can do that. If you want to climb mountains, you can do that. If you want to have a bit of fun and turn back the years and play Mario Kart with your legs, you can do this. And to be fair, the random number generator that is the power-ups, it adds a whole nother element to the racing that's using your brain, because some people, they can win races. I mean, we saw Tom Aliff with his aero power-up almost beat out some of the strongest guys by using his power-up at the right moment in coordination with using his legs. That is what cycling is about.
Yeah. That was pretty cool to see, and coming in that camera view at the finish, we could see those riders coming at him. It looked like that Aliff was going to hold them off, but then with those power-ups and that finishing speed with those power-ups added together, they come at him 2-1, and I really did think Aliff was going to hold on for the win, but unfortunately they caught him just on the line, and it was still a very fast and close finish by the other riders. We had to go back to the old video footage and wait for those confirmation come through for the results.
I mean, we fired last week's cameraman. We might have to fire this once again, because he really doesn't know what he's doing, guys. He is really, nah. We're not going to name any names because he might be in the witness protection program, but this man has really not got his full sets of wits, but...
No, not quite. So we see Ciano up here now, sort of following that little bit of, it looked like a bit of a leg shake there from the Wolfpack crew. A bit of a leg shake in that move there. So now we see Ciano just sort of sitting back there, holding that position towards the front here, though. We see some other riders start to move up. Bit of a washing machine shuffle here now. And these riders are starting to think about doing a bit of a move here, whether they want to start to cull down these numbers up here. So they'll start to go up the climb here. And that's where these riders will, if they do want to try and make it a more select group, that's where they want to increase that pace.
Did somebody say shuffle? Oh, Wes wasn't even looking. Oh, there's a dramatic effect. Did somebody say shuffle? No. No, he wasn't even looking good. I'm done. I'm out of here.
I saw it.
No. Dramatic effect gone. Ladies and gentlemen, where's the hook? Where's the boot? Where are the tomatoes? We need, come on guys. This is so professional by Wesley. Look at his, is Wes's face more red than his t-shirt is right now, ladies and gentlemen? Look at that. What an amateur.
Oh, come on, mate. Come on. We're in the same coloured shirts here. All good all round. So
it's all good and
a
fun.
couple other shout outs on the stream asking me to be involved in their local racing. They need another team member and a chance to catch up with the Dawsons, which I am really good friends and was ex-teammate of Peter Dawson, and his son is racing in the under 19 category. So yeah, it's pretty cool to see that these young kids also can get involved in Zwift and get amongst the racing. But they were talking about an actual outdoor ride, so you can use use the indoor situation for pre-training. And Jono said that his son is even better than him, so look out. Wow. So we've got some Zwifters in the makes here, so we will see you know, some other, probably the eCrit next year round, we'll probably see some of the likes of these young kids asking their dad to you know, maybe opt out and race another event so they can take part in the eCrit.
You know, in 10 years when we're going to have the eCrit reunion, we're going to have John O'Bates Jr., we're going to have Aaron Dunn Jr. I mean, that's going to be fun. We're going to have little Max. Max is going to be racing.
Yeah, well, I did joke with my wife that when she was in hospital, because Max come premature, so he was 5 weeks early, and Shem was in hospital with Max, and I had to go submit the name down to the local town hall. And I did threaten a few times that I would change his middle name to Power, so it'd be Max Power. And then I did threaten also to change it to Max Speed, but that didn't happen. But I did really want to do it. I thought I should probably hold up with the names that we chose. So we did choose James, which is my middle name as well. So.
Oh, God. Max James? Yeah. But, to be fair, imagine the legendary... Imagine
Max
the
Power.
commentary.
Yeah.
When Max Speed crosses that finish line in first position, ladies and gentlemen, he takes his consecutive world championship here in Melbourne, Australia. So no, it would be Tasmania, Australia, is where he would take his consecutive world championship stripes. Max Speed,
Yeah,
Sulzberger.
I was thinking if you got involved in superbikes or MotoGP, and as well as cycling, I thought, you know, speed and power and Max, you know, I thought that all went together really well.
Who decided on Max as the name, or was that a collective decision?
Max, well, we both decided on Max's name because it was nice and short. He's got a last name he's going to have to spell the rest of his life. So we wanted a nice, short, easy first name. And we did that the same for my daughter also. We called her Zoe. So it's just 3-letter name, nice, strong, short name. And then the last name, they know they're going to have to get down pat of how to spell that because that happens every day if you are a Sulzberger.
You know, one day Max is going to wake up and go, wait, is Max short for Maximilian? Is my name Maximilian Sulzberger?
Yeah, well, that just jokingly, that's what my wife wanted it to be, Maximilian, but I opted for this short name so that, yeah, like I said, nice, short, strong name. So we are getting Robbie Parker, who's joined in on the stream. So Robbie raced before as Rob Dog, young junior rider here in Tassie, coming up the ranks. So cool to see him involved and great to see him tune into the stream.
Good to get involved, man. It may have been the last race of the series, but I'm fairly certain that we're going to be back next year stronger, better, faster, smarter. Might even have Kanye West be on as our supporter.
I was going to say, I thought we were just about to get a rocket.
That'd be pretty neat to have a mascot in Kanye West, but hey, maybe he'll be president by then. But anyway, guys, it'll be really fun. Next year, I'm fairly certain we're going to be running the same sort of program again. So don't worry when you hit off-season, because now you're heading slowly into the season. Guys like Aaron Dunn, they're going to start racing outside again, and now they're going to be stronger than ever. Next year, we'll do this again.
Next year we will do it again, and we just got a from Mikey Hoskins saying that Maximilian Watts would have been a good one. So yeah, that would have been a good one, Maximilian Watts. And Aaron Dunn saying that for his third child, his wife shot him down for Wes. Obviously had met me and decided not to call their son Wes.
Aww.
So I don't know what's going on there, but we see Dunn typing away here, sitting at comfortably, 200 to 300 watts, and chatting away to us at the same time. So respect to Dunn, already raced today, and obviously this evening in the Eastern one, and now involved in this Western eCrit series, and able to just to chat away and type while putting out the watts. So full respect there. 150 heart rate, just cruising along.
It's funny, you can see when Dunn is typing, because whenever he's typing, his cadence goes down by about 10. So whenever he's typing, he stops thinking about spinning the legs and whatever witty comment he's about to comment instead. And you can see the legs just go shorter, and like the span is just shorter and shorter and shorter. But then when he's done typing, his legs just go like this. So we're on to you, Dunn. We're on to you. Can't hide from us.
Yeah, we know when a comment's brewing. So just get another one through the comments. So he said we've got a semi-pro racer called Theo Yates, who I was teammates with Theo. So he's quite a strong racer and has won races throughout the UCI in Asia. And I raced through Qinghai Lake, which is probably the grand tour of Asian racing, 2 weeks long, Qinghai Lake.
There's even a rest day in the Qinghai Lake, right?
Yep, there is, and there's no rest day here for Dunn because he's outdone the racing, and now he's doing some attacking here on the Tron bike as well. So he's heard that call out about Asian Grand Tours and decided to take on his own Grand Tour by doing the double up today, doing double stage. And it looks like one of the Chinese riders is coming across to him now, giving him a bit of a pacing.
They are, but we've also got Ciano, Dunn, Brown, Simpson, all up near the front here. Wilson is the one who's trying to get back on terms with the front here. So if you're just tuning in, they're racing 43 kilometers in total so far. So they're just a bit over halfway through the course as Dunn is trying to put some pace, inject some pace. But I'm fascinated. Where were you going with King High Lake? I want to hear more anecdotes of Wes.
Oh, King High Lake, yeah, I was just actually Theo had a shocker there. He actually crashed out, I think it was the second or third stage with a broken collarbone, I'm pretty sure it was. So actually I went down in the crash as well over the top, but I sort of unfortunately used some of the other riders as skid pans and didn't take much skin off at all. You know, the old grey fox with a bit of experience, made sure I rode the other riders as my skid pan and didn't actually hurt myself too much. But unluckily, Theo, come down pretty heavily and was one of the first riders to come down and had to leave and go home. So, but Theo, since then, he's joined up with, he was part of a WA-based NRS team, which I was part of, Saddlers Verve Racing, and now he's part of the Patch Veg sort of Drapac feeder team. So he's been racing in Belgium and now come back, I'm pretty sure, and racing some of the NRS racing leading up to the second half of the year. Nice.
So talk to me about the NRS, by the way. How long is that series? Because it's a thing we've been mentioning again and again and again. NRS, in layman terms, what is it?
So the NRS, the National Road Series, is a series of races, that aren't virtual like Zwift. They're outdoors, and some of these races through the middle of this season, like we saw with Cameron Roberts, opt to go overseas. So through the middle of the season, there has been some of the races that are no longer in the calendar. So that sort of causes a bit of a lull for guys to, take that option to go to Belgium, go to America and race. And then now this second half of the series, of the NRS series, there are some races going on. So we've got probably the next one, we've had a couple of Tour of Great South Coast, which was on recently. And then leading up now, we have Tour of Tasmania coming up. And then the Launceston Classic also, and then it's on the Tour of Tasmania is on in November, the 6th through to the 10th, one rest day, and then you have the Launceston Classic on the 12th of November.
How long are these
probably
races?
The next one. Then you, so it ranges. So the Tour of Tasmania, each stage is, you've got a time trial to start with, which may be a hill time trial. I'm not 100% sure on that. And then you've got the races sort of range from 120k to some short, fast crits, like we see here with the eCrit, so like an hour of power, plus a couple of laps around a circuit. So the racing isn't extremely long, but then we have after Tour of Tasmania, we have Melbourne to Warrnambool, which is a 300-kilometer race. So that obviously that's quite a long one, and that's actually leading up. No, I've raced it. I've raced Milan San Remo and I've raced Melbourne to Warrnambool, and they're both very long races. And how fast they are raced, especially if the wind conditions are right, if it's a tailwind. For the start, those first couple of hours are certainly very, very quick.
Especially in the rain. Milano San Remo is always wet.
Yeah, when I did it, we had sort of overcast sort of weather and it didn't quite rain. Through the second time I did it, through the middle of the stage, it rained through the tunnels. There was a lot of crashes through those tunnels before we popped back out the other side, and they don't dry up even when it's a hot day. Those tunnels are always damp. Seem to be damp in Italy. I don't know what they need to fix up their drainage or something. There's something going on with their tunnels, but they always seem to be damp and wet. And very dangerous and quite narrow, and it's like most of the tunnels you'll go through, will be lit up and quite visible to see. The tunnels in Italy, most of the time, no, not the case. Very dark. You need to have your Fly 12 or Fly 6 on, sort of flashy lights to make sure that you're seen and can see where you're going.
You know, supposedly the strategy to that is to close your one eye for like 2 seconds and then open it again. And then that way you should actually be able to see. No, that's actually true.
Oh yeah, I actually have done that. Yeah, when I'm turning the light off and on in the bedroom, you know, when you've got the bedside lamp on, you close one eye, and if you go to the bathroom, you turn the light on, you close one eye, so then it helps your night vision come back. So there is some method to that madness, but I don't know about closing one eye in a pro cycling peloton. I don't know whether that would work out in your favor or not.
You're going blind in anyway. Like in theory, you're going into the tunnel blind. You can't get more blind.
Yeah. Well, I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I guess we'll have to. I haven't actually ever tried that, and I know the theory what you're saying there, but I can't say I've tried it. So if you've raced in, it doesn't matter if you haven't raced in pro peloton. Have you ever gone through a tunnel and closed one eye? So let us know in the comments below. And I'm sure we'll get some funny stories with that. Probably not about the one eyes, but some other tunnel stories. Because it is always a challenge going through tunnels. Sometimes you can make it out the other side, or you can see the light and not quite make it there.
I did it, but when I climbed Obelisk West, you know, there's between Obelisk when you go down, there's another hill right after, and there are a few tunnels. Those are scary because they're wet and they're dark, and you can't see anything because it like twists a tiny bit.
Yeah, it's turning as you're going down.
Yes.
You can't see the old light at the end of the tunnel. So, yeah, certainly makes it a bit more of a hairy experience when you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Jono Bates is saying now that his claim to fame is beating Theo. So he's actually beat Theo in a race, which Theo is quite a fast finisher. So Jono Bates must have got wound up for the kick for that one. And Peter Dawson is getting a couple of shout outs here. So yes, Peter Dawson, ex-teammate of mine, and a world champion on the track. So it'd be good to get Pete involved on Zwift because he's quite good at teams pursuits and that sort of thing. And I think there are some events which would suit Pete here with some short team time trials. So there was I've seen some other things in the mix for team time trials and that sort of thing. So that's where Pete Dawson would fit in really well with those because he is a world champion for the team's pursuit and has been involved with it. Yeah, so quite and Commonwealth Games champion. So Pete is on the track, very, very strong rider, and made it to the very top level, and is quite a good road rider as well. Obviously focused on the track, but it was very good in the criterium situation, that short, sharp sort of racing. So eCrit sort of style of racing, which would suit Pete very well.
Did you ever endeavor over to the track side?
As a junior, I started racing when I was 11 years old. So as part of that, you race the road season and then the track season. So here it's quite famous, the Launceston sort of carnivals, and not just in Launceston, sorry, but the Tasmanian Christmas carnivals, which everyone would take part in, and a lot of mainlanders would come down and race those series. Quite strong sort of for handicap cycling. So it's not that popular elsewhere in the world, the handicap sort of racing. So you would have the back markers starting a long way behind those front markers, and on the track I was middle marker. Like on the road I was off scratch and A grade, but when it comes to the track I was not in my element. I was not one of those fast sort of track riders. Like we see the power that Ciano and those guys are putting out now. I wouldn't be able to hold the wheel on the track, doing those sorts of efforts. So I went, as soon as I found that you could, have courses with hills in them, that's where I sort of switched my focus to the road.
And courses with actual brakes on the bikes? That sounds nice. Sounds nice to be able to brake and not go supersonic.
It's nice to be able to stop. Nice to be able to stop pedaling. Yeah. So, but the eCrit series is almost a little bit like that because you cannot let off on the pedals. And if you start to lose that wheel and you get out past that 3-second gap, once you get out past that, Jesper, it's really hard to get back in that slipstream. You would have experienced in racing on Zwift.
It used to be like that.
Make that gap back?
It used to be like that, but there's actually, this is unofficial. This is speculation on the Zwift forums, but I've seen botched evidence. This is just evidence of riders in the high-end quality of Zwift that are recording every race they do because they're just like fanatics to Zwift racing. But August 1st, supposedly there was a game change that made drafting much more viable. instead of saving about 25%, you actually save about 40%. This is not confirmed. This is just what the community is saying.
That's huge, huge saving there. So yeah, obviously getting that slipstream, you know, you do feel that difference here on Zwift, but yeah, I wouldn't say up to that 40%. You wouldn't think it'd be that high, but certainly, you know, you feel those effects if you go out the road. If you lose that wheel, you know, it's very hard to get back in that slipstream. You've got to really either use a power up or use a lot of energy, like a max sprint. So it's like an attacking effort to get back onto that wheel. And just touching on that now, Mikey Hoskins is just saying Wes is telling war stories, and looks like Pete Dawson is coming to the stream now. He's saying his internet is no good and he can't quite hear that much.
Welcome to Australia.
He said he has plenty of war stories for sure. So one of the war stories about Pete Dawson, I was saying that he's very, very strong track rider, but also a very, very strong criterium rider. When I was racing with the track endurance squad, so what happened, Jesper? I didn't quite make the cut for the road team, so I piggybacked on the track team. So I got part of the track endurance team to go over the first year with the AOS squad, because the squad was full and they wanted to help me out and get me over there. It was actually when Will Walker won the national championships for the men's event, and I was second. So what happened is me and Will Walker upstaged the men's road race Australian championships. So we had the under 23 race with the men, and we beat the men. So I was racing against Hank Vogels and those sort of guys. So after that, they did amend that, and they've never had the under 23 race with the men after that embarrassment. And so from that, I picked up an AOS scholarship to race. But like I said, it was full for the team, for the road squad. So I piggybacked on the back of the track enduro team, which was really good actually to race with those guys and pick up all that experience that they had. And Peter Dawson was a madman in the criteriums. When we raced in America and Canada, he would just rip around the corners and just really light it up. And there was one race in America where there was the preems. So the preems were worth more than the race. So the actual finish of the race was, I think maybe $500 or $300, where the preems was about, I think, $1,500 US or 12, I think $1,500 or more. And that was crowd funded. So they went round with a blanket before the race and threw all the dollar notes in and everything like that. So all change, loose change and notes. And obviously in America you have $1 notes. Mm-hmm. And Peter Dawson went after this preem like it was a world championships. He calmed it up through the corners, broke away. No one was stopping him. We got the preem and we all got about, I think, a stack of money about this high. They're all $1 bills. And I think we ended up with, I think, about four, I think it was at least $200 or $50 each out of that. So that was something that I remember with Pete Dawson with all the money counted out on the Best Western mattress, adding it all up, and we thought we were rock stars with this pile of cash.
I so wish we could have some sort of like Zwift podcast with you, Wes. Because these stories is what I live for. As a cycling fanatic who's trying to read everything known to man, these stories that nobody else has pinned down, this is what makes cycling good. There's urban legends of Pete Dawson who went after every prime like it was the world championship. I mean, give the man the world star stripes. Come on. He's earned it.
It was either with Pete, it was either win it or bin it. He was that sort of mentality, went through the corners that quick, and he did get full slippage. And I remember talking to the mechanics afterwards saying they were on the bottom corner of that course and that he full on drifted around that last corner to get that preem and full on had it sideways. So almost rolling the single off the tire there. So yeah, Pete Dawson certainly was one to get amongst the criteriums, and I would really love to see Pete get involved on Zwift. I think he certainly has a lot to offer, especially with his sons getting into cycling now. So that'd be cool to get Pete involved in Zwift.
We need to get the old gang back together, all the West rough riders, get them all on Zwift, part of WP task, get them out on course. See who still got what it takes to be part of the best of the elite of Zwift, because there are some riders out there. Like one of them right now is Johan Gren of Sweden out here. He actually races domestic pro level in Sweden, and he can probably muster about 5.5 almost 5.6 watts per kilo out on a good day. So if I were the Australians, that's the wheel I would stick to.
Yeah, they have Fredrik Kesikos, who's also a very strong Swedish rider who used to race for Astana and took the polka dot jersey in the Tour de France. I used to train a lot with Christoph. Certainly a very, very cool cat, very nice guy, and certainly has some power as well. So it's cool to get the Swedish community involved in here. Was hoping to see Christoph actually at Eurobike, but usually he's linked up a little bit with Specialized in Sweden, but he didn't quite make it across. But I did get to catch up with Jesper over there, the man in his element. Jesper Anker was there talking people through Zwift, making sure that people are across the platform, the people's champion. It was really cool.
It's good fun, but I don't remember there was much talking, much conversing, because somebody lost their voice because he went out drinking like a madman the first day. I mean, what is this, Wes?
Come on, mate. It was all on the fly. I mean, Shane GP Lama Shane Miller knows my pain, so I had a bit of a dry throat tickle on the plane on the way over, arrived, and then pretty much lost my voice. So I was in a world of hurt. So yeah, that certainly wasn't fun at all. And I remember watching GP Lama's YouTube channel, and he had lost his voice. I thought it was quite funny at the time, but then when it's played back and it was on me that I couldn't speak when I was at Eurobike, it wasn't that funny.
Oh, it was good fun meeting up, though. Everybody was there. Everybody that's anybody was there. I mean, even royalty of cycling like Greg van Avermaet actually braced with his presence shortly at the BMC booth, that's really cool. And I mean, everyone keeps saying that cycling is such a niche sport. Then you go to Eurobike in small city side Friedrichshafen, and there's seemingly millions of people all talking bike. I love this sport. It's not niche whatsoever. It is exactly what it needs to be. That's why I like it.
Yeah, and I did get a couple of reports of some Zwift employees riding to the Eurobike and actually being passed by some elderly ladies on e-bikes. So, you know, everyone's involved here. It doesn't matter what age you can ride a bike. So really cool. It was really cool to see so many people, you know, loving cycling. So, you know, in every aspect, you know, from old to young, there was certainly a good vibe.
Was it your first time at Eurobike, Wes?
Yeah, pardon me. It was my first time at Eurobike. I've been across to Taipei Bike Show before, but that absolutely dwarfed that. It was mammoth at Eurobike, something that I just didn't I knew it was going to be big, but yeah, to that extent of being held in the Sessler complex, yeah, it was something else.
I miss a good currywurst. Guys, I'm from Denmark. I used to go to Germany every 2 weeks for shopping reasons. You probably got the same wherever you're living in the world. And the one thing Germany do well is a currywurst. It is sausage with like ketchup and like a bit of curry on top of it with French fries. If you've not had it, you've not lived. That's what I had in Germany. It was good to be home, and I can't wait to go home and get all the good experiences sometime soon again. But we're about to enter our final lap. We've been talking about everything on Earth, but the eCrit racing is coming to an end as well in the Western Division. We got 38 kilometers out of 44. When they cross the line in about a kilometer's time, that's the final lap in the Western eCrit of the 2017 season. Ciano, Simpson, Cooper, Dunn, Wilson, Brown, they're going to take us through this, and they're going to finish out the ball tonight with the biggest dance of them all.
They are, and you know, it'd be obviously we're done racing you know, the Eastern. You would say that he's probably the fastest sprinter out of this group, but now also having raced earlier, you know, it could come across to someone else in this bunch here. And we do see, you know, Ciano is quite a good finisher as well. So, you know, we could see Dunn be upstage here. We are going to have to ring that bell very shortly. I'll just make sure we have that sorted coming through the end here. So just getting across on the mixer from Taldo Torpedo is just giving a few people updates on Toledo, just giving a few people updates on Zwift. So thanks for answering those questions for us as well. People are saying, you know, what's this and is it free and how does Zwift work?
First 7 days free.
Yeah, He's saying that you need a bicycle obviously with some sensors to move the rider in the game. So those sensors obviously is a power meter, and if you don't have a power meter, you can still try it on the trial version, obviously with a speed sensor and cadence sensor. So you can get involved, and then you can follow it up if you want to get that live feedback of your resistance with a smart trainer. So that smart trainer, if you start to go up a 7% climb with your height and weight input in the game, you will feel that 7% climb bite into the legs and feel that lactate come on. So yeah, great to see everyone getting involved in the streams and questions. So keep them flowing through. Looks like Jono Bates has got lots to say tonight, which is cool. And Jono was saying that he's going for Ciano. He plays it so cool. So Ciano, looks like Linton Savatsky has just joined the stream also.
What's up, Linton?
And Anthony is just saying his vote is for C. Brown, Cullen Brown for the win. So
on that note, Wes,
all the races now.
You've got to make a decision. You ready for this?
Yes, I do now. So 1
lap to go. Who are you going for?
I don't know if like Dunn obviously is already raced. We haven't seen a lot from Cooper tonight as well. So it would be good to see Cooper. Now, now that he's not on that fixed wheel bike, to try and make use of those gears and maybe take a flyer, because I would really like to see someone hit out early here. So whether that's Cooper or not, otherwise I'd probably say Ciano as the sprinter here.
It's the obvious choice. Ciano, a guy who's won the last 3 races here in the Western Division. Ciano, you've picked him. It's a brilliant choice, but I'm going with the man who just seems to be over the moon today. I mean, Ben Simpson has been sitting in brilliantly. He tagged from the gun. I think that Ben Simpson has finally, the fact that he's finally qualified for it, that he's actually confirmed, there's a huge burden lifted off his shoulders tonight, and I think he's just going to rip it up. I think he's going to find a new gear, and tonight is the night that Ben Simpson, whether or not he's on his own bike or his wife's bike, who will know? That doesn't matter as long as the watts are his. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, that's it. And Ben Simpson went off the front early in this race also, straight off the front and straight into it. So, he has got the legs and he has got the confidence, and he's been lifting his FTP, which is exactly what we wanted him to do before coming this final. So I am actually training Ben. So Ben has really stepped it up, and like we said, he's lifted each week the last sort of 4 weeks now. So really good to see. And he's also racing. He's actually a mountain biker by trade, and now is getting involved also obviously in a bit of a road scene as well, and as Zwift. So really good backstory there. He has raced nearly all of the races here on Zwift and has that nice dominance in points, and now is starting to come back with that dominance in the legs. So it's really good to see. We see that Dunn is at the back here now, playing a bit of policeman, keeping an eye on. It looks like someone's done a bit of a sneaky flyer there now, Jesper.
Wilson. We got Wilson off the front. I was just about to say this, that whoever is the first to launch of the Aussies will most likely take this, because we're down to about 6 Aussies in this front group, and they're all marking each other. The first one to get a substantial gap will just cruise to the finish line, with everyone else fighting for secondary positions behind them. We've got Brown, we got Wilson, Ciano's still up there, Ciano, Simpson, Dunn 1 second behind. Nobody can blame Dunn for being a tiny bit tired from already racing 1 race tonight, having 1 hour break, and then right back into it. That's the equivalent of boxing 10 rounds, taking 30 minutes break, and then boxing 10 rounds again. So Dunn, we see what you're doing, and we applaud it, but man, this is going to be a tough one. And as I say that, Aaron Dunn is about to prove us all wrong, and just tack off the front.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for a bit of a move here now. So we just got a comment across while Dunn is putting his power down that Crystal Simpson, Ben's wife, has said that he's actually on her bike tonight, and so obviously cheering him on right now. So probably Zach, their son, would be in bed right now, but he's probably cheering him on in his dreams right now, going, "Come on, Daddy, bring one home." So Jasper's backing you tonight for the win. So come on, Ben, let's see if we can bring it up here now. These riders are really starting to put the hammer down. Dunn in second wheel here, getting that draft now.
He's timed it so well, but he's got to keep Ciano and Brown behind him. Ciano, that was grinding away that gear. He's trying to get the watts up. He's struggling. Dunn has got that free ride in front of him with Graham, with Hudson, and Xiao, the pedestrians out on course that he's now drafting behind. Ciano's going to start to look around, and this is for the overall stage victory. Points no longer matter. first, second, and third are all set. They're all guaranteed. This is for individual stage glory, as Ciano is now sitting at 7 watts per kilo to try and bridge back up. Wilson is at the back. Brown is out the back. Simpson, though, is almost out the back as well. Now gaps are starting to appear as Dunn has just been brought. Actually, he's about to be brought back in by Ciano and company. 2 kilometers to go here, Wes, and everything is still up for grabs.
It is still up for grabs, so we could see a little bit of a reshuffle there. Everyone's stretched out now, so even those riders that got a little bit shuffled back there now can have that opportunity. Like we see Simpson now come up to the back of this group, having to put in an effort here now before coming into this fast last bend here. Looks like he's going to come back to the group here. Obviously had to use a bit of energy there. Looks like he's going to get back into the slipstream. And then will we see someone take a long range? Obviously, with that being stretched out now, everyone's going to be at their limit. And if they do take a long range attack, it is a mighty gamble now, because this has got to start to hurt the legs of these riders. We see everyone bridged out now, almost doing a little bit of a team time trial here, looks like, with riders just stretched out and dropping the wheel now in front of them.
We got Ciano and Dunn, the 2 Australians in the front. Simpson is dropped, Wilson is dropped, Brown is dropped, Cooper is dropped. It's a heads-up battle now between Aaron Dunn and Anthony Ciano. Anthony Ciano, the leader of the wildcard vote right now as it stands. The leader of the East versus the wildcard, the Joker of the West. Who is it going to be? This could be a preliminary showcase of what's going to be the finale on the 23rd of September. They're going into the sprint now. Aaron Dunn versus Ciano. They're both packing quite a good sprint. Dunn has got the aero power up though, and he's the first to launch. And Ciano's got the draft. The draft power up for Ciano could spell the end of this stage for him, as Dunn is just going to slowly ride away into the distance. But there's fatigue in his legs. Look at that. The engine can't quite get up and running. He's not firing on all cylinders tonight. He's at 10 watts per kilo. But it looks like it may just be enough. No, here comes Ciano back again. He's got 50, 20, 10. It's not going to be enough.
Yes, looked like Ciano had a really good comeback there. Looks like he was going to step back on top of it, and it looked like he was closing in on Dunn, but the line come up before that. So really good effort, especially by Dunn taking on the back-to-back there. Ciano, good sprint all around, didn't have the aero power up, so that's a real drawback. If he had that aero power up, it would have been a really close battle, but great race by all the riders. And good work for rocking up to this last one. So we have Ben Simpson across the line also. Great job tonight, Ben, in 3rd place. So picking up that podium again, so he should be pretty pleased with that. So great work by everyone. Jesper, anything else to sign off?
Remember to head over to the KISS Road Race page. Give your vote on whoever you think should be invited to the live finale in September at Raphael Melbourne on September 23rd. You can make somebody's day by giving them a vote. It doesn't matter who you vote for. All 6 wildcard nominations. Don't vote for me, by the way. All 6 wildcard nominations. It will make their day if you give them your 1 vote. 1 vote becomes 2, becomes 3, becomes 10, becomes 50, becomes 100, becomes a dream come true. And that's what these guys are fighting for. So go over to the KISS Road Race page, let your voice be heard. And that's it from Wes and me, and we'll see you live on the 23rd of September. eCrit 2017. That was